है, कंटिन्यू करना है वहाँ से फ्रॉम सर्विस सेक्टर itself. So in the service sector we have just identified the areas for reform, areas to defend, accelerate, and the untapped area. So main point, the new point was basically that. Now in the same chapter, few more information. So one is about the artificial intelligence application for the various services. जैसे अपने फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर में कर रखा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का एप्लीकेशन, सिमिलरली फॉर द service sector. So in the different areas of service, what will be the application of the artificial intelligence? And before that, it is giving information about the Global Capability Center, GCC. So start with this Global Capability Center. Global Capability Center. ठीक है, within the service sector. Service sector, I think chapter number 9 है. 8, हाँ, chapter number 8. Global Capability Centers. They are basically the strategic hub reshaping the India's corporate landscape. So what is the importance of that Global Capability Center in terms of the service sector? So first explain the meaning of it, the significance of it. ये सारे क्वेश्चन जितने भी है शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन के लिए यार, जो आप कह सकते हैं नए टर्म्स हैं, न्यू टर्मिनोलॉजी है या न्यू प्रोग्राम है, उसके फॉर्मेट में क्वेश्चन के फॉर्मेट में आ सकता है. तो यार बेसिकली राइटिंग फ्रॉम अ शॉर्ट एंगल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, दैट मीन्स अ क्वेश्चन फॉर लेट अस से 5 मार्क क्वेश्चन. तो ग्लोबल कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर, जस्ट द इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट, ठीक है. अगेन जो डिटेल होगा लाइक हाउ मच कॉर्पस हैज बीन क्रिएटेड और हाउ मच फंड क्रिएटेड, वो आप इग्नोर करो. मेनली द पर्पस ऑफ दैट सेंटर and the significance of it, only write on that part. So India's global capability centers, GCC, India's global capability centers are emerging as strategic hub, are emerging as strategic hub, are emerging as strategic hub, reshaping the Indian corporate landscape, reshaping the Indian corporate landscape while influencing global business dynamics, while influencing global business dynamics. Just underline that first line. India's global capability centers are emerging as the strategic hub, reshaping the Indian corporate landscape while influencing global business dynamics. Global capability centers are fundamentally changing the technology landscape, full stop. Over the past few years, India has remained at the forefront of global GCC, Global Capability Center, forefront of global GCC expansion strategy, global GCC expansion strategy with more than 400 new GCC, and around 1100 new units and about 1100 new units established. Next paragraph. leading organizations are leading organizations are centralizing their technology ecosystem in India. Leading organizations are centralizing their technological ecosystem in India. This is particularly evident in sectors like aerospace, defense, and semiconductors. Where companies are advancing their engineering efforts. To focus on next generation platforms, products and technologies. Focus on next generation platform, product and technology. So main area जहाँ पे ये इन्वॉल्व हो रहा है. And now the AI adoption, artificial intelligence adoption in service sector. AI adoption in service sector. Earlier you have written for the financial sector, now it is mainly for the service sector, but obviously when you explain the service sector overall, it will include the financial also. ठीक है, वो फाइनेंस सेक्टर के लिए स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन किया था. तो यहाँ पे अगर सर्विस सेक्टर लिख रहे हैं, ऑब्वियसली फाइनेंस सेक्टर विल कम, सो दैट विल बिकम वन पार्ट. बट इन एडिशन टू फाइनेंस देयर विल बी अदर एरियाज एज वेल वेयर वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग more and more involvement of the artificial intelligence. So significance of artificial intelligence for the service sector growth. First, the service sector including banking, financial service and insurance. The service sector including banking, financial service and insurance, healthcare, telecom, retail, transport and logistic, stands out for its rapid AI adoption. Supported by various national initiatives and technology. ठीक है, ब्रीफली से आप अलग अलग कैटेगरी के अकॉर्डिंगली कर लेंगे. जो AI का adoption है for different areas. So in the different areas, one will be the financial area, finance. Several financial institutions and banks in India are using AI to enhance their operations. Several financial institutions and banks in India are using AI to enhance their operation, improve customer experience, and streamline their services. For example, SBI, Intelligent Assistant, SAI. For example, SBI Intelligent Assistant is a chatbot used to provide support to customers. So banks are also using AI for risk management and fraud detection. So machine learning algorithms, ML algorithms are used to identify suspicious transactions by analyzing customer data. So adoption of the AI for the finance sector. मतलब ये एक लार्जर क्वेश्चन के फॉर्मेट में पूछे जा सकते हैं कि आप adoption of the AI, how the adoption of AI in the service sector, and what will be the implication of that adoption for the service sector growth. So when we explain service sector, then you have to explain what are the role of the AI in improving the productivity of the service sector. Second area is telecom. AI improves customer support, network optimization and predictive maintenance. So several telecom companies in India are using AI to improve their services, optimize operation, improve their services, optimize operation, and enhance customer experience, Third, retail and e-commerce. AI enables personalized marketing. Inventory management. AI enables personalized marketing, inventory management, and customer experience enhancement. Personalized marketing, inventory management, and customer experience enhancement. So, some the fashion e-commerce giants are using advanced features to enable customers to have an enhanced and discovery-led shopping experience. So, scope for AI in the retail and for the e-commerce. Then transport and logistics. AI applications streamline operations and improve delivery accuracy. Streamline operations and improve delivery accuracy, helping companies cut their cost, and enhance customer satisfaction. Full stop. AI is used for route planning. AI is used for route planning and optimization to ensure timely delivery of packages. Full stop. AI based robotic systems are being used are being used in their fulfillment centers, in their fulfillment centers, in their fulfillment centers to streamline the sorting, to streamline the sorting, packaging and inventory management process. Sorting, packaging and inventory management process. After comma, reducing human intervention, reducing human intervention, reducing human intervention and increasing efficiency, and increasing efficiency, increasing efficiency. So mainly in these four areas we will be seeing more and more adoption of AI in the near future also, and how they will be improving the productivity of the service sector. So for the area of finance, for telecommunication, retail and transport. लेबर वाले चैप्टर में जो लास्ट का चैप्टर है उसके अंदर वो फर्दर एक्सप्लेनेशन आएगा कि व्हाट विल बी द इम्प्लीकेशन ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर द एम्प्लॉयमेंट पार्ट. सो दैट विल बी, दैट हैज आल्सो बीन कवर्ड. But here we are basically discussing the use or applicability of the AI for improving the service sector productivity. One more topic we can cover in this service sector itself is the open network for digital commerce. Open network for digital commerce. Open network for digital commerce. ONDC. Open network for digital commerce. The Open Network for Digital Commerce recipient, the ONDC recipient a significant shift, promoting a democratic digital commerce ecosystem, democratic digital commerce ecosystem, promoting a democratic digital commerce ecosystem and thereby fostering inclusivity, and equity. Inclusivity and equity. Full stop. ONDC enables buyers and sellers to transact seamlessly across different platform. Full stop. It helps by reducing customer acquisition cost. After comma, enhancing business efficiency enhancing business efficiency, enhancing business efficiency, and expanding choices, expanding choices for merchants and consumers, expanding choices for merchants and consumers. Merchants and consumers. Next, the pandemic, that is COVID-19, the pandemic underscored, the pandemic underscored the critical role of, underscored or highlighted the critical role of digital commerce. The pandemic highlighted the critical role of digital commerce in enabling business continuity, in enabling business continuity, enabling business continuity and consumer access, and consumer access, consumer access. Full stop. Digital commerce played role in, digital commerce played a role in, played role in enabling, enabling resilience of in the economy, enabling resilience in the economy. So the prevailing platform centric model, the prevailing platform centric model of digital commerce, platform centric model of digital commerce, platform centric model of digital commerce globally and increasingly in India, and increasingly in India require attention, require attention. So a few large e-commerce players, a few large e-commerce players dominate the market. A few large e-commerce players dominate the market, dominate the market, which affect participation and flexibility of, which affect participation and flexibility of, participation and flexibility of smaller sellers, participation and flexibility of smaller sellers such as local retailers, local retailers, artisans, and MSMEs, and MSMEs. Full stop. Sellers often have to conform to, sellers often have to conform to or comply to, CUN, conform to terms and condition, terms and condition, terms and condition after comma from customer data access, from customer data access, customer data access to product visibility, to product visibility, after comma reducing their market, reducing their market, reducing their market presence and fostering dependency on this platform, fostering dependency on this platform. Dependency on this platform. मतलब जो ओपन नेटवर्क डिजिटल कॉमर्स सिस्टम होगा दैट विल बी बेसिकली प्रोवाइडिंग एक्सेसिबिलिटी टू ऑल. तो जो लार्ज प्लेटफॉर्म्स बेसिकली डोमिनेट कर रहे होते हैं ई कॉमर्स एरिया में, दे आर टू दी एट द डेट्रीमेंटल फॉर द स्मॉल सेलर्स. जो लोकल रिटेलर्स हैं, आर्टिशियंस हैं, एमएसएमईज हैं, उनके फेवर में नहीं है. सो फॉर देम बेसिकली इट इज द ओपन नेटवर्क फॉर digital commerce. It is mainly designed to help them. I think the service sector you can conclude with this. Now move to next sector is agriculture. Agriculture and food management, actually. Agriculture and food management. So this is chapter number 9. Agriculture and food management. Already we have written that its growth rate is 3.8% in the financial year 25. Then share in GDP or gross value added is 16%. This is information for the financial year 24. And another basic is share in the workforce. In workforce 46.1%. 46.1%. अब एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है उसमें अगर आप इंट्रोडक्टिव पार्ट में यू वांट टू राइट दैट पैराग्राफ कि व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दैट, मतलब क्लबिंग ऑल यू हैव टू मेक अ सेंटेंस एंड प्रेजेंट इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ शॉर्ट पैराग्राफ. तो इंट्रोडक्शन में जो पैराग्राफ है वो एज इट इज यूज कर सकते हो फॉर एनी क्वेश्चन इन कैट. द एग्रीकल्चर एंड अलाइड सेक्टर, द एग्रीकल्चर एंड अलाइड सेक्टर, द एग्रीकल्चर एंड अलाइड सेक्टर हैज long been the backbone of the agriculture and allied sector has long been the backbone of Indian economy. Backbone of Indian economy. After comma, playing a vital role in national income and employment. Playing a vital role in national income and employment. National income and employment. This sector contributes approximately 16% of country's GDP, 16% of country's GDP, and supports about 46% of population. Supports about 46% of population. Full stop. Not only does its performance directly impact food security, not only does its performance directly impact food security, but it also influence other sectors. It also influence other sectors. It also influence other sectors. After comma, sustaining livelihoods, and supporting economic growth, sustaining livelihood and supporting economic growth. Whether question is on agriculture performance, agriculture productivity, you can use this as a part. मतलब about 30-40 वर्ड्स का शॉर्ट पैराग्राफ इस फॉर्मेट में आपको याद रखना है. So elaborate करते समय obviously how it will be basically helping the other sectors. Other sector means dependency on agriculture for the industry as well as for the services, and agriculture provide the market for those industrial product also, and it also provide the raw material for many industries as well. So growth in the agriculture is vital from the purpose of the overall growth also. Now quarterly जो movement है उसको आप ignore कर देंगे. Next paragraph now. Next is a separate information given for the India's floriculture or sunrise industry. तो सेपरेट बिकॉज एक दो साल पहले अगर आप देखोगे एग्रीकल्चर फूड प्रोसेसिंग सेक्टर के लिए क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, मेजर्स टेकन फॉर द फूड प्रोसेसिंग सेक्टर, तो वो भी हाईलाइटेड है सेक्टर सर्वे में भी और पहले वाले सर्वे के अंदर भी. तो फ्लोरिकल्चर और सनराइज इंडस्ट्री, India's floriculture or sunrise industry. India's floriculture industry has grown into a high performing sector. India's floriculture industry has grown into a high performing sector. After comma, earning its status as sunrise industry with 100% export orientation. Driven by a growing global demand for flowers, after comma, floriculture has evolved into a key commercial venture within agriculture. Next paragraph. Commercial floriculture is particularly lucrative or profitable, offering higher return higher return per unit area, higher return per unit area as compared to many traditional field crop, as compared to many traditional field crop, many traditional field crop, field, as compared to using that same land for the different purpose for cultivating the crop, the rate of return is more in the floriculture. So even when you see the aim of doubling the farmers income, तो ओवरऑल सेक्टर का इनकम तभी ऐड होगा जब आप वैल्यू एडिशन एग्रीकल्चर में ज़्यादा करेंगे. तो वैल्यू एडिशन इज ऑलवेज मोर इन दिस टाइप ऑफ industries. So it will basically help to earn more for the agriculture sector, thereby improving the productivity of the agriculture sector. And as you improve the productivity of the agriculture sector, then only expect that the problem of poverty can be reduced, because agricultural low productivity is the main reason for the high incidence of poverty also. So from that angle also floriculture is important. Contain this. Profitable avenues in commercial floriculture include cut flower production, loose flower production, dry flower, cut greens, pot plants, flower seeds, etc. In addition, intercropping flowers are more profitable compared to options of cereals, pulses, vegetables and oil seeds. With its high growth trajectory and promising export potential, India's floriculture industry is blooming as a vital player in the global flower trade, Yes. ठीक है. अब इन जनरल अगर आपसे कभी गवर्नमेंट मेजर्स को अगर एक्सप्लेन करने को कहा जाए, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट गवर्नमेंट measures for improving agriculture productivity. Government measures for improving the agriculture productivity. So obviously just remember that there are जितने भी प्रॉब्लम्स आपने कोर एग्रीकल्चर वाले टॉपिक के अंदर कर रखा है कि एग्रीकल्चर परफॉर्मेंस के अंदर दो इश्यूज बेसिकली इन्वॉल्व होता है. वन इज बेसिकली प्री हार्वेस्टिंग एंड अदर इज द पोस्ट हार्वेस्टिंग. तो प्री हार्वेस्ट मतलब इनपुट आर द इनपुट्स रिक्वायर्ड. तो इनपुट्स रिक्वायर्ड बेसिकली बिगिंस विद द लैंड, देन क्रेडिट, देन सीड्स, फर्टिलाइजर्स, इरिगेशन फैसिलिटी. तो गवर्नमेंट के जितने भी मेजर्स होंगे टुवर्ड्स दैट will also help the improving the agriculture productivity, and other will be basically the post harvesting system. So post harvesting is basically for the warehousing system, storage system, transportation system, marketing of the agriculture product. So all programs are basically, you can divide it broadly into two parts. One is the pre, other is the post harvesting system. उस कंटेक्स्ट में बेसिकली मेजर्स लिख रहे हैं. तो जो इम्पॉर्टेंट वन न्यू अनाउंस पॉलिसीज वाले फॉर्म होंगे उसको आप यहाँ पे मेंशन कर रहे हैं. तो फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ पे the government is implementing a range of initiatives. The government is implementing a range of initiatives aimed at enhancing agriculture productivity, aimed at enhancing agricultural productivity and increasing farmers' income, and it is in accordance recommendations. It is in accordance with the recommendations provided by Dalwai Committee, doubling farmers income, Dalwai Committee for doubling farmers income. This report highlighted essential strategies for improving crop and livestock productivity. Boosting cropping intensity. And diversifying into high value crop. Next paragraph. Committed to promoting greater input efficiency. And adopting sustainable production practices. production practices. The government is pursuing initiatives such as PDMC, is per drop more crop. Per drop more crop. For improving the efficient use of the water. Per drop more crop, and various actions under National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. Underline that. PDMC and NMSA. National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. These measures include using alternative and organic fertilizer. Using alternatives and organic fertilizers. Alternative and organic fertilizer to enhance productivity. And sustainability. Enhance productivity and sustainability. In addition, digital initiatives like Digital Agriculture Mission. Digital Agriculture Mission and ENAM. ENAM is National Agriculture Market. ENAM have been launched to encourage the adoption of innovative agricultural technology. And improve price discovery mechanism. In which market price is more, in which market is less, you can discover that price differential. Additionally, the government provides income support. To farmers through assured remunerative price for their produce along with programs such as PM Kisan. Programs such as PM Kisan. फॉर एनी शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन अगर ये डायरेक्टली कंटेंट आप अगर यूज़ कर लेते कि द गवर्नमेंट मेजर्स इन ऑर्डर टू डील विद द प्रोडक्टिविटी एंड द रिसेंट प्रोग्राम, तो आई थिंक वो जो शॉर्ट पैराग्राफ गिवन है वो काफ़ी है आपके लिए. मोर देन 1 पेज का कंटेंट आंसर शीट में जरूर हो जाएगा वहाँ पे, एंड दैट विल बी मोर इफेक्टिव एज वेल. तो जो मेन प्रोग्राम बेसिकली वहाँ पे इंक्लूड हो रहे हैं. फर्दर इंफॉर्मेशन, बिकॉज डेटा का सिग्निफिकेंस आपके लिए वहीं तक आता है जहाँ ऑब्जेक्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन है और जहाँ आप लार्जर क्वेश्चन को आंसर करें. बट अगर आपसे सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स, तो बेसिकली यू आर मेंशनिंग द प्रोग्राम विदाउट इलेबोरेटिंग दोज प्रोग्राम. आपको इंक्लूड करना है वो सारे प्रोग्राम इन द अप्रोच. सो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट मेजर्स टेकन बाय द गवर्नमेंट इन ऑर्डर टू इम्प्रूव द एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्टिविटी. ठीक है, मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन है. देन रेन एग्रीकल्चर, ठीक है. जो क्रिटिकल इनपुट है, फॉर दैट critical input for the agriculture. First, providing adequate credit support. Providing adequate credit support. Providing adequate credit support to all farmers. Providing adequate credit support to all farmers, especially small and marginal farmers. Small and marginal farmers, and vulnerable section of society, and vulnerable section of society is important for improving agricultural productivity and income. Is important for improving agricultural productivity and income. For this, government introduced Kisan credit card. Government introduced Kisan credit card to enable farmers to meet their short-term working capital requirement. Second, next point. The government has given priority to irrigation development. Government has given priority to irrigation development and water conservation practice. Priority to irrigation development and water conservation practices. To enhance access to irrigation facility. So between financial year 16 and financial 21, between financial year 16 and financial year 21, India experienced a significant increase in irrigation area coverage. A significant increase in irrigation area coverage and intensity. Irrigation area coverage and intensity. The coverage of irrigation area has increased. The coverage of irrigation area has increased from 49.3% to 55%. 49.3% in 16 to 55% in 21 of gross cropped area, of gross cropped area. अरे जो इरिगेशन फैसिलिटी यहाँ पे अशोर्ड है 55, रेस्ट इज रेन फेड. Since financial 16, the government has been implementing various programs, like PM कृषि संचय योजना, PM कृषि संचय योजना, शॉर्ट में देख सकते हो, PM कृषि संचय सिंचाई योजना. हाँ, SIN लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है. PM प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना, PM कृषि सिंचाई योजना, PMKSY. ठीक है. पर ड्रॉप मोर क्रॉप इज बेसिकली एन इनिशिएटिव ऑफ दैट प्रोग्राम. नेक्स्ट, ये इनपुट के फॉर्मेट में दिस टू मेजर इनपुट. देन एक सेपरेट बॉक्स में यहाँ पे इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है फॉर द किसान ऋण पोर्टल. किसान ऋण RIN है, किसान ऋण पोर्टल. KRP. ठीक है. दिस 2023 किसान ऋण पोर्टल launched in September 23. Launched in September 2023. Addresses key challenges. Kisan ऋण पोर्टल launched in September 23. Addresses key challenges in modified interest subvention. Key challenges in modified interest subvention. Modified interest subvention. KCC scheme, किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड स्कीम. Modified interest subvention KCC scheme. Full stop. Previously, it is before the portal. Previously, banks had to submit claims. For interest subvention. banks have to submit claims for interest subvention. Interest subvention means अगर लोन का रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है 11% है, सबवेंशन 2% है, दैट मीन्स 2% विल बी गिवन बाय द गवर्नमेंट टू द बैंक. ठीक है, इट विल बी गिवन बाय दिस. सो बैंक हैज टू पुट देयर क्लेम एंड देन दे विल गेट द फंड. Previously, banks had to submit claims for interest subvention and prompt repayment incentive manually to RBI and NABARD. After comma, leading to significant delay and inefficiency. So the Kisan Rin portal digitizes this process. After comma, ensuring farmers and lending institutions benefit from quicker seamless transaction and thereby improving access to credit for agricultural needs. Next paragraph. The Kisan Rin portal empowers farmers with seamless access to credit not only for traditional cropping activity but also for dairy, fisheries, poultry farms, etc. Next paragraph. The Kisan Rin portal benefits financial institutions banks and cooperatives as they can submit automated digital claim and thereby streamlining the entire process. Next paragraph. The KRP, Kisan Rin Portal, the KRP impact extends to over 553 banks nationwide. Over 453 banks nationwide, with 1.89 lakh branches. 1.89 lakh branches and 4.65 lakh users. 4.65 lakh users. ठीक है, तो न्यू इन्फॉर्मेशन के फॉर्म में दिस एंड देन वी कैन मूव टू दी ठीक है। आई थिंक फूड प्रोसेसिंग के लिए भी हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन इन द क्लास, फूड प्रोसेसिंग वाला हमने कर रखा था, उसमें कोई न्यू पॉइंट नहीं है, बट वी कैन राइट फॉर द फूड मैनेजमेंट। फूड मैनेजमेंट, ठीक है, चैप्टर फूड मैनेजमेंट के लिए नेक्स्ट। इट इज एग्रीकल्चर एंड फूड मैनेजमेंट। अब यहाँ जो पैराग्राफ आप लिख रहे हैं, इसे आप फूड सिक्योरिटी वाले क्वेश्चन में, फूड मैनेजमेंट वाले क्वेश्चन में कहीं पे भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, या पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम का कोई क्वेश्चन आता है वहाँ भी इस पैराग्राफ को यूज़ कर सकते हैं। द बेसिक कंसेप्ट ऑफ फूड सिक्योरिटी, द बेसिक कंसेप्ट ऑफ फूड सिक्योरिटी is to ensure, the basic concept of food security is to ensure that, the basic concept of food security is to ensure that there is access to basic food, there is access to basic food, there is access to basic food for their active and healthy life, for their active and healthy lives, active and healthy lives. Full stop. It is characterized by, it is characterized by, it is characterized by availability, availability, comma, access, utilization, utilization, and stability of food supply, stability of food supply, stability of food supply. So food must be available, accessible to all, utilization and stability, and you can add is the affordability also. Affordability भी इसका part है, it should be affordable. Availability, access, utilization, stability and affordability. Next paragraph. While the government has secured food security, government has secured, or rather addressed, we can say, the government has addressed food security through public distribution system and TPDS, targeted public distribution system, comma, National Food Security Act, National Food Security Act, 2013, and PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. तो मेजर जो प्रोग्राम्स बेसिकली थ्रू विच वी आर ट्राइंग टू अचीव द फूड सिक्योरिटी इज बेसिकली द PDS to begin with, then modified to the TPDS, then the National Food Security Act, and the PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. That means earlier it was basically a welfare approach to basically the right based approach. That means Food Security Act, you have a right to food. Earlier the approach was basically the welfare. That means government should be giving it. It was not the legal right. Now these are basically the legal right. That means you are entitled to have that. You have a claim for that product. So we have basically moved from the welfare to the right approach. Right on. There is a transition from welfare based to a right based approach. There is a transition from welfare based to a right based approach. A right based approach. Full stop. NFSA legally entitles up to 75% of rural population. 75% of rural population. And up to 50% of urban population. And up to 50% of urban population to receive food grains. To receive food grains free of cost under TPDS. Under TPDS. So 75% of the rural and 50% of the urban. So based upon the 2001 census, that counting is about 83.35 crore covered under the TPDS. 75% of the rural and 50% of the urban. 21 के सेंसस मतलब जो लास्ट सेंसस उसके अकॉर्डिंगली 2011 है. Therefore about two-thirds of population is covered under the act. Two-thirds of population is covered under the act. To receive highly subsidized food grains. In addition, Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana was introduced to alleviate the suffering of poor and vulnerable caused by COVID-19 pandemic. The allocation of free food grains allocation of free food grains. Under this yojana, is in addition to a regular allocation, is in addition to the regular allocation for around 80 crore beneficiaries. That is in addition to what they were getting, in addition to the 80 crore beneficiaries. And obviously it has been extended for the next 5 years also, so 24 to 29. Next paragraph. To enhance the efficiency of PDS, government is fully committed to achieving government is fully committed to achieving 100% e-KYC compliance nationwide. 100% e-KYC compliance nationwide. Committed to achieve 100% e-KYC compliance nationwide. So this aligns with One Nation One Ration Card scheme. This aligns with One Nation One Ration Card scheme. One Nation One Ration Card scheme. After comma, allowing beneficiaries to complete electronic KYC anywhere, regardless of their home state. So beneficiaries can authenticate their Aadhaar biometrics. Beneficiaries can authenticate their Aadhaar biometrics at any fair price shop. After comma, making it convenient for migrant workers. To access their entitlements. ठीक है, so just supplement the food management part जो पहले आपने कर रखा है उसमें ऐड करना है. And for any conclusion in the agriculture sector या outlook या future prospect, or if you want to use some paragraph for the conclusion part, so conclusion of this chapter. But again you can use this as to answer or conclude any answer. India's agriculture sector despite encountering various challenges India's agriculture sector, despite encountering various challenges, remains an important pillar for economic growth, and ensuring food security, for the nation. This sector has consistently demonstrated a remarkable resilience, which is evident in stable growth rate, supported by a range of government initiatives, to enhance productivity, diversify crop portfolio, and provide essential social security support, for farmers. However, the sector is not without its challenge. Issues like climate change, and water scarcity, present significant obstacle that require focused and targeted intervention. So one challenge is the climate change and the water security. So improving price discovery and market efficiency. Price discovery and market efficiency is another critical aspect. That require attention. तो ये पार्ट आप एनीवेयर व्हेनेवर यू आर जस्ट कंक्लूडिंग द आंसर, इसको भी कट शॉर्ट करके जो इनिशियल पार्ट लिख रखा है वहाँ मेंशन कर सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज द कंसर्न एरियाज. तो कंसर्न एरियाज आर बेसिकली द क्लाइमेट चेंज, irrigation, and the price discovery, price stability, modernization also you can add. मतलब मार्केटिंग रिलेटेड भी इश्यूज हो सकते हैं, वैल्यू एडिशन का प्रॉब्लम है. तो सेक्टर वाइज दिस वाज फॉर covered for the industry and service and agriculture. Sector by division. We can take public finance का surprisingly कोई separate chapter survey के अंदर है नहीं. For the otherwise previous survey अगर आप देखें तो public finance एक important, बट बजट वाले पार्ट में आपने मेनली जो करंट वाले पार्ट थे उसको कवर कर रखा, बट स्पेसिफिकली कोई चैप्टर फॉर फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट नहीं है. मॉनेटरी के लिए काफ़ी डिटेल में, फाइनेंशियल भी डिटेल में आ गया, बट नॉट फॉर द फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट और पब्लिक फाइनेंस. सो अनदर सेक्टर वी कैन टेक द एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर, दैट इज चैप्टर नंबर 3. ठीक है, जो भी मेजर चैप्टर है उसको आप, बिकॉज वो लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन के लिए इम्पॉर्टेंट है, सो फ्रॉम दैट एंगल वी आर कवरिंग इट. बाकी जो स्मॉलर चैप्टर्स है वो हाईलाइट से भी कवर हो जाता है, जो मेजर स्मॉल टॉपिक्स हैं, लाइक क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए सेपरेट है, लेबर के लिए सेपरेट है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए सेपरेट है. External sector में again the initial part is basically giving you the overall view about the overall global environment. Global environment और given global environment में then we talk about the Indian performance. But यहाँ पे mainly approach इसको ऐसे करना है. Just consider the basic one that when we consider the balance of payment. The balance of payment basically is a systematic record of all the economic transactions between resident of one country and resident of rest of world. So obviously external sector will come here. The balance of payment has broadly two account, current account and the capital account. So in the case of current account, what do you include? लेफ्ट साइड आपके रिसिप्ट्स है और पेमेंट्स है. तो रिसिप्ट्स के अंदर बेसिकली यू राइट एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स, दैट इज मर्चेंडाइज ट्रेड, तो वो बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड के फॉर्मेट में आ जाएगा. तो एक्सपोर्ट्स का रेट ग्रोथ रेट, इंपोर्ट का ग्रोथ रेट, देन बैलेंस ऑफ द सर्विसेज दैट इज इनविजिबल्स, देन यू ऐड द इन्वेस्टमेंट इनकम ट्रांसफर्स, दैट विल द करंट अकाउंट ऑफ द बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट. तो करंट अकाउंट का इंफॉर्मेशन पहले चलेगा, देन वी विल फॉलो द कैपिटल अकाउंट. तो कैपिटल अकाउंट के अंदर कैपिटल फ्लोज की बात होगी, एंड देन इट विल एक्सप्लेन द फॉरेन डेट दैट इज एक्सटर्नल डेट. तो बैलेंस ऑफ एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर विल बी ऑल्सो गिविंग यू इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द एक्सटर्नल डेट पार्ट. कंपोजिशन एंड डायरेक्शन ऑफ ट्रेड का नॉर्मली हर सर्वे के अंदर वो एक पाई चार्ट के फॉर्म में होता था, व्हाट इज द लार्जेस्ट कंपोनेंट. वो प्रीवियस वाले सर्वे के अंदर है बट नॉट फॉर द current one. So in the absence of that you have to rely for the previous survey. Previous survey की क्लास वगैरह भी साइट पे उस पर अपलोडेड होगी, लास्ट ईयर वाला जो डिस्कशन होगा. ठीक है, वो आपको टेस्ट से वाले कैटेगरी में वो आपको मिल जाएगा. अगर आप लास्ट ईयर वाला सर्वे तो किसी पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर जैसे अगर यहाँ मिसिंग है तो फॉर दैट पर्पस यू कैन रेफर टू दैट चैप्टर. पब्लिक फाइनेंस भी था लास्ट ईयर. ठीक है, लास्ट ईयर वाले सर्वे में था पब्लिक फाइनेंस का चैप्टर. सारे चैप्टर हैं, सरप्राइजिंगली सिर्फ एक वो पब्लिक फाइनेंस का चैप्टर यहाँ पे नहीं है. कंपोजिशन वाला उसके अंदर हमने कर रखा है. हमने जो क्लास जब एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर के कर रखे थे उसके अंदर सर्वे जो रेफर हो रहा था वो प्रीवियस ईयर वाला रेफर हो रहा था. तो लास्ट ईयर वाला सर्वे के अंदर हमने ऑलरेडी कर रखा उस पार्ट को. तो कंटेंट यहाँ पे फ्रॉम दैट एंगल इट विल बी लेस. ग्लोबल डायनेमिक्स को इग्नोर कर दीजिए स्टार्ट में. ऑल्दो इनिशियल जो पैराग्राफ है वो बेसिकली जो स्टार्ट के फ्यू पेजेस हैं, दे आर बेसिकली एक्सप्लेनिंग द टैरिफ पॉलिसीज एंड द नॉन टैरिफ पॉलिसीज ऑल्सो, द ग्रोइंग इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ द नॉन टैरिफ मेजर्स. तो हाउ द नॉन टैरिफ मेजर्स आर बेसिकली ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिंग द इंटरनेशनल फ्लो ऑफ द ट्रेड. टैरिफ इज ऑलरेडी अलाउड बाय द WTO. नॉन टैरिफ मेजर्स अलग अलग इम्प्लाई किया जा रहा है फॉर द बाय द डिफरेंट कंट्रीज, लाइक यूरोपियन यूनियन ने भी कर रखा है. तो उसका इम्प्लीकेशन फॉर द ट्रेड फॉर द डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज भी है. सो दैट पार्ट इज ऑल्सो देयर इन द इनिशियल पार्ट. सो कैन add if you want, कुछ basic points आप वहाँ से अगर लिखना, it will be better. Specifically for the non-tariff measures. Non-tariff measures, NTM से start करना. Non-tariff measures. The decline in tariff globally, the decline in tariff globally, decline in tariff globally has been accompanied by increase in the implementation of non-tariff measures across countries. Increase in the implementation of non-tariff measures across countries. Full stop. Globally, non-tariff measures such as subsidies and export related measures have risen in aid of nation's industrial policy goal. So, unlike the tariff measures, the non-tariff measures are less visible and thereby making them harder to assess. ठीक है, उस कंटेक्स्ट में एक इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है फॉर द कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म, CBAM, कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म. कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म. कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म implemented by European Union, it aims to align the cost of the cost of carbon emission. It aims to align the cost of carbon emission for imported goods with that of domestically produced product. Cost of carbon emission for imported good with that of domestically produced product. Underline that. It aims to align the cost of carbon emission for imported good with that of domestically produced goods. मतलब यूरोपियन यूनियन में जो डोमेस्टिकली प्रोड्यूस गुड्स है उनका जो कार्बन एमिशन कॉस्ट है वही कॉस्ट किसके लिए होना चाहिए, जो गुड्स वो इंपोर्ट करें, बट दे आर इंपोर्टिंग फ्रॉम वेयर, द डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज। डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज में सेम टेक्नोलॉजी से प्रोडक्शन नहीं हो रहा है, तो उस प्रोडक्ट का जो कार्बन एमिशन होगा वो ग्रेटर होगा, बट उनको वो कह रहे हैं इक्वलाइज करना है। तो इक्वलाइज करने के लिए ऑब्वियसली दे हैव टू पे फॉर इट, तो दैट विल रिड्यूस द import done by the European Union, and that will reduce the exports from the developing countries. So it in a way it is a non-tariff measures. As countries slash groups like the European Union phase out the free allowances they offer, their industries, under emission trading system, after comma they are using CBAM, to prevent their consumption, from shifting to countries with relatively softer environmental regulation, shifting to countries with relatively softer environmental regulation. Full stop. Under the mechanism, importers will buy carbon certificates. तो import करेंगे they have to buy the carbon certificate. Under the mechanism, importers will buy carbon certificates corresponding to carbon price paid by domestic producers, or manufacturers under European Union's carbon pricing rules. European Union carbon pricing rules. Full stop. Thus, CBMA is effectively carbon price rules. CBAM. The CBAM is effectively a carbon price equalization measure. CBAM is effectively a carbon price equalization measure. Underline that. CBAM is effectively a carbon price equalization measure. These are basically expected to adversely impact basically the exports from India to European Union. So that was a new, and then right for the export first. अब डोमेस्टिक जो डेवलपमेंट है वहाँ लिखते हैं total exports growth rate. Growth rate is 6%, and import growth is 6.9%. ठीक है, this is for the financial year 25. 6 and 6.9. So naturally, if the growth of import is more, so CAD will increase, current account deficit will increase, because the growth of import is more as compared to the growth of exports.
So this is only for current account export.
ये इंफॉर्मेशन टोटल के लिए, मर्चेंडाइज प्लस सर्विसेज, दिस फॉर द मर्चेंडाइज प्लस सर्विसेज, कंप्लीट टोटल.
About capital account.
मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट का गिवन है. ठीक है, इसमें ये दिस इज फॉर बेसिकली द टोटल फॉर मर्चेंडाइज एंड सर्विसेज. बिलो दैट overall merchandise export registered a modest growth of merchandise export registered a modest growth of 1.6%, 1.6%, primarily attributed to decline in value of petroleum product export, decline in value of petroleum product export due to fall in international commodity price, due to fall in international commodity price. However, merchandise import increased by 5.2%. Merchandise import increased by 5.2%. The merchandise export was 1.6, merchandise import 5.2. This increase was largely due to a rise in non-oil, non-gold imports. Non-oil, non-gold imports. The gain increase in import is not because of the oil, not because of the gold. It is non-oil, non-gold import. Again, sector wise textile वगैरह के लिए you can ignore that. ठीक है, ये इंफॉर्मेशन लिखा है फॉर आप, ये टोटल के लिए. दिस इज फॉर मर्चेंडाइज. ऑलराइट, फॉर द सर्विसेज. सर्विस सेक्टर एक्सपोर्ट growth, service sector export growth was 11.6%. 11.6% in the first 9 months of financial year 25. In the first 9 months of financial year 25. In the first 9 months of financial year 25. The rise in service export contributed to the rise in service exports contributed to a rise in services export contributed to the rise in service export contributed to an increase in net services receipts from 120 billion US dollar 120 billion to 131 billion. सर्विस सेक्टर का जो एक्सपोर्ट है वो सब्सटेंशियल है, एंड दैट इज़ वाई अगर आप ओवरऑल डेटा को भी कंप्लीट करो जो से स्टार्ट किया है, जो सेक्टोरल ग्रोथ रेट है, तो सेक्टोरल ग्रोथ रेट में एग्रीकल्चर ग्रोथ रेट वाज 3.8, इंडस्ट्री वाज 6.2, सर्विस वाज, तो सर्विस का ग्रोथ अगर ज़्यादा है इसका मतलब सर्विस का शेयर एक्सपोर्ट में भी ज़्यादा होगा। इंडस्ट्री का अगर कम है तो नेचुरली जो मर्चेंडाइज होगा वो एक्सपोर्ट में भी कम होगा, तो मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट ग्रोथ रेट वाज लोअर। वो भी रिफ्लेक्ट करा कि जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर है इट इज़ नॉट डूइंग वेल, लोअर ग्रोथ इन द मर्चेंडाइज सेक्टर, बट बेटर परफॉर्मेंस अगर आप इंडस्ट्री और सर्विस को कंपेयर करें इन टर्म्स ऑफ द एक्सपोर्ट, तो मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट इंक्रीज लेस देन 2% एंड सर्विस एक्सपोर्ट इंक्रीज अबाउट 11%, 12%. So better performance in the service sector mainly because in the service sector India has comparative advantage in many services as compared to manufacturing. So manufacturing is basically the problematic area for the Indian economy. Whether we talk about the broad-based growth, whether we talk about the employment opportunities, because service sector के अंदर employment की elasticity कम है, manufacturing में employment की elasticity ज़्यादा होगी, but manufacturing sector is not doing well, reflected in the lower growth in the merchandise export as well. Service sector export. इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज का डेटा नहीं है, बस उसको भी रखना ब्लैंक इन केस इफ यू गेट। ठीक है, जस्ट इलेबोरेट दिस सेक्शन मोर। सर्विस सेक्टर का जो बेटर परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द सर्विस सेक्टर। नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ, सर्विसेज एक्सपोर्ट फ्रॉम इंडिया, सर्विसेज एक्सपोर्ट फ्रॉम इंडिया have shown a multi-sectoral presence. Services exports from India have shown a multi-sectoral presence in global export with notable contributions across several sectors. Notable contribution across several sectors. रिमेंबर यहाँ जो पार्ट आप लिख रहे हैं इसको आप सर्विस सेक्टर के क्वेश्चन में भी यूज करोगे। सर्विस सेक्टर जनरल क्वेश्चन आता है वहाँ भी आप सर्विस, बिकॉज किसी भी सेक्टर का इंपॉर्टेंस हम एक्सप्लेन करते हैं बाय देयर शेयर इन द जीडीपी, by their contribution in generating employment and by their contribution in promoting the export. तो export को elaborate करना वहाँ। India's share in global service export has more than doubled India's share in global services export. India's share in global services export has more than doubled, reaching around 4.3% in 2023, 4.3% in 2023 from 1.9% in 2005, 1.9% in 2005. So currently we can say the share of the service export in the global service export is 4.3. So in telecommunication, computer and information service, in telecommunication, computer and information service, India commands 10.2% of global export market. 10.2% of global export market. 10.2% of global export market. Reflecting its strong position in IT outsourcing, information technology outsourcing, software development and digital service. So regarding the telecommunication, computer and information, 10.2. Next paragraph, travel and transport service. Travel and transport service represent areas where India holds a relatively smaller share. In global export. इसको अपने लास्ट सर्विस वाले पार्ट में लिखा था अनटैप्ड, ये अनटैप्ड है. इन ग्लोबल एक्सपोर्ट्स at 2.1% and 2.2% respectively. 2.1 and 2.2% respectively. ये ट्रैवल और ट्रांसपोर्ट का शेयर है. Therefore, India remains a global leader in IT. Therefore, India remains a global leader in IT and business services. India remains a global leader in IT and business service. But there is considerable untapped potential. Untapped potential in travel, transport and financial services. So naturally the current account deficit part, CAD, slightly higher at 1.2%. Moderated India's current account deficit CAD moderated slightly to 1.2%. 1.2% in quarter 2 of financial year 25. 1.2% in quarter 2 of financial year 25 as against 1.3% in quarter 2 of financial year 24. 1.2% in quarter 2 of financial year 24. CAD, current account. India's CAD has remained relatively contained compared to other G20 economies. India's CAD has remained relatively contained compared to other G20 economies. ठीक है. Then regarding the capital is the foreign direct investment, FDI. FDI annual growth of 17.9% growth. FDI inflow increased by 17.9% in financial year 25. तो ऑब्वियसली फ्रॉम द सेक्टोरल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ये लार्जर अमाउंट एफडीआई का कौन से सेक्टर में आ रहा होगा? नेचुरली सर्विस सेक्टर, जहाँ पे ग्रोथ ज़्यादा है वहीं पे एफडीआई का इनफ्लो भी उसी सेक्टर ज़्यादा है. बिलो दैट फ्रॉम अ सेक्टोरल पर्सपेक्टिव the service sector remains the largest recipient of FDI, accounting for 19.1% of total equity inflow. 19.1% of total equity inflow in first half of, or H1, in first half of financial year 25. First half of financial year 25. India remains a strong destination for FDI. India remains a strong destination for FDI. Strong destination for FDI. After comma, ranking high in greenfield project announcement. Ranking high in greenfield project announcement. Greenfield project announcement and international project finance deal. International project finance deal. Next is foreign action reserve. Foreign action reserve. तो फॉरेन एक्शन रिजर्व टर्म यूज करते हैं तो उसमें इंक्लूड क्या कर रहे हैं? व्हाट वी आर इंक्लूडिंग इन दैट फॉरेन एक्शन रिजर्व? फॉरेन एक्सचेंज जितने भी एसेट्स हैं वो आ जाएंगे, गोल्ड आ जाएगा, स्पेशल ड्राइंग राइट्स आ जाएंगे, एसडीआर आ जाएंगे आईएमएफ के, जस्ट मेंशन दैट पार्ट। इंडियाज फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व कंप्राइज, इंडियाज फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व कंप्राइज, foreign exchange reserve comprise foreign currency assets, foreign currency assets, gold, special drawing rights, and a reserve and reserve tranche positions, TRANCHE, a reserve tranche position in IMF, a reserve tranche position in IMF. The foreign action reserve, the foreign action reserve after reaching 700 billion benchmark, after reaching 700 billion benchmark, 700 billion benchmark, moderated to 640.3 billion, 640.3 billion in December 2024. December 2024. This reserve is sufficient to cover. This reserve is sufficient to cover. This reserve is sufficient to cover 90% of India's external debt. 90% of India's external debt. 90% of India's external debt. So naturally the external debt will be, the overall external debt, if this much of reserve is enough to cover 90% of your external debt. So external debt is a 711 billion US dollar. The external debt cover approximately 90% of India's external debt, reflecting a strong buffer against external vulnerability, reflecting a strong buffer against external vulnerability. The import cover, what is import cover? Import cover means, वो भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इंडिकेटर है अबाउट द एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर. इम्पोर्ट कवर मीन्स जो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज का रिजर्व है, बाय यूजिंग दैट फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व, हाउ मच मंथ ऑफ इम्पोर्ट यू कैन फाइनेंस if there will be no exports from India. So how much the reserve is good enough for covering 9 month, 10.9 month. So import cover is 10.9 month, and it was in 1991, the economic crisis, less than 2 weeks, so below one month. So 10.9 month import cover is there. That means there are 640 billion US dollar reserve can support your import of for 10.9 month. Import cover, which is an indicator of external sector stability, which is an indicator of external sector stability, stood at 10.9 month, stood at 10.9 month. 10.9 month as of December 2024. और सस्टेनेबल होने के लिए क्या चाहिए? व्हाट इज द IMF सजेशन? हाउ मच इंपोर्ट कवर शुड बी देयर? 3 मंथ. ठीक है, वो रिकमेंडेड है. यू मस्ट हैव द रिजर्व ऑफ एटलीस्ट 3 मंथ ऑफ इंपोर्ट. कंटिन्यू करना उसमें. This increase enhance India's ability. This increase enhance India's ability to deal with external shock, with reserve adequacy significantly surpassing the IMF recommended 3 month import cover. Surpassing the IMF recommended 3 month import cover for emerging economies. 3 month import cover for emerging economies. ठीक है, इसे कंक्लूड कर देंगे विथ एक्सटर्नल डेट. FDI आउटफ्लो यूजुअली फाइनेंशियल वाले जो पोर्टफोलियो है वही होते हैं. इंफॉर्मेशन में काफ़ी कम डिटेल यहाँ पे रहता है फॉर द आउटफ्लो. इनफ्लो बिकॉज हमें इंटरनल इकॉनमी से ज़्यादा कंसर्न रहता है ना कि हाउ मच इज द इनफ्लो. आउटफ्लो बेसिकली अगर आउटफ्लो इकॉनमी से ज़्यादा हो रहा होगा तो रिजर्व डिक्रीज हो रहा होगा. द फैक्ट दैट रिजर्व ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम increases indicate that the inflow is always more as compared to the outflow. डिक्रीज होने के पीछे करंट अकाउंट का जो डेफिसिट है वो भी है. करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट मीन्स अगर कंटिन्यूसली इंपोर्ट ग्रोथ रेट इज मोर एज कंपेयर टू दी एक्सपोर्ट ग्रोथ रेट, प्लस जो फेडरल रिजर्व का इंटरेस्ट रेट है वो रिसेंटली हायर हो गया, तो हायर होने की वजह से भी इंडिया से कैपिटल का आउटफ्लो हो रहा है टुवर्ड्स द अदर कंट्रीज वेयर द रेट ऑफ रिटर्न इज हायर. Write down India's external debt is 711.8 billion as of September 2024. So the external debt has remained stable. Over past few years. A stable external debt position has helped maintain external sector stability. The external debt to GDP ratio external debt to GDP ratio increased slightly from 18.8% in June 2024 to 19.4% in September 2025. June 2024 18%. June 2024 to 19. September 2024. June 2024 to September 2024. The share of short-term debt मेनली जिसे आप एक्सटर्नल कॉमर्शियल बोरिंग कहते हैं, द शेयर, दिस इज द ओवरऑल एक्सटर्नल डेट, द शेयर ऑफ शॉर्ट टर्म डेट डिक्रीज्ड to 18.8% at the end of September 2024 from 19.4% in June 24. Similarly, its ratio to foreign exchange reserve decreased to 18.9% in September 2024 from 20.3 in June 24. ठीक है, तो एक्सटर्नल डेट वो लास्ट पार्ट होता है फॉर द एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर। तो कोई ब्रॉडर क्वेश्चन के फॉर्मेट में नहीं है, बस शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन के फॉर्मेट में आपने ज़्यादा इसको यूज़ किया, बट लार्जर क्वेश्चन बेसिकली आपके इंडस्ट्री में, एग्रीकल्चर में, सर्विसेज में और फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर में, मॉनेटरी मैनेजमेंट में बन रहे हैं। तो सेक्टर वाइज जितने भी डिवीज़न थे, इंडस्ट्री, एग्रीकल्चर, सर्विसेज एंड एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर, यहाँ तक हो गया। रिमेनिंग जो कंटेंट है सर्वे के अंदर वो शॉर्ट चैप्टर है, शॉर्ट चैप्टर लाइक 1 चैप्टर फॉर इन्फ्लेशन, 1 फॉर द मीडियम टर्म ग्रोथ, क्लाइमेट के लिए, लेबर के लिए और एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए। ठीक है, शॉर्टर चैप्टर है, तो वी कैन ट्राई टू कवर ऑल इन 1 हो सकता है। जो मेजर चैप्टर्स थे वो आपके हो गए, मेजर कंटेंट। ठीक है।